your child. So, what is an academic plan? So, previously, your kid has met with one of our guidance techs and they tell them what they want to take next year. It's in a conversation, and we don't really look forward to the next couple years after this. It's basically, I want to take math and science, and I want to start at this period, and that's good. If they have changes, they come throughout the year and change it. But with the academic plan, we're asking you guys as a family to sit down and look forward to what is it I want to do? How do I want to accomplish graduation? How do I want to accomplish going to college if I want to go to college? And do I know all the options that are out there for me? And do it by looking at the plan, we really have time to sit down and look at how everything's laid out at Trabuco and all the availability things to your student. So you're going to, once again, remember, we're just making a plan. We're not making it permanent. We're going to start to put together if your kid's a freshman. Then we're going to look at sophomore year. How's that going to look? And then we're going to look at junior year. How's that going to look? And we're going to track our graduation progress and our college eligibility process. Remember when you're looking at this that you're not going to be able to see your students' grades. It's just courses that they have taken and courses that they are going to take. So they're going to sit down with their counselors, and each of your student has a dedicated counselor based on their last name. These are all of our counselors. And we're going to be meeting with your students shortly here in the upcoming weeks to go over kind of what you guys put together.
Okay.
So when you're looking at the plan and you're sitting down and starting to discuss with your student, what am I looking at? These are the following things you want to keep in mind. Is your student on track to graduate? Do they have all the courses that they need to fulfill that 220 requirement, graduation requirement, and the subjects? The next thing you guys are going to want to look at is your student for your college ready? That's what we call A through G. The requirements are really close to graduation, but there's also some additional. Another thing to look at is if your student is involved in the pathway, are they in the next sequence that's required? If your students have failed or gotten a D grade in the past, we want to look if they need to remediate those grades. Do they need to take summer school? Do your kids have interests that maybe they haven't been exploring while they're in high school? These are elective interests. These are dual enrollment interests. So we want to look at all of that when we're looking to put together our 4-year plan. So how it works is tonight we're going to talk about how you guys as parents and students will sit down and through your parents' Aries account are going to go to their academic plan and decide what courses do you want next year, what courses do you want the year after. And if the courses that are listed are not something that you agree with or that you wish to fulfill, then you're going to add new courses to the plan. We're going to go over that in a few minutes, how you actually do that. But once you've completed that, in the next couple weeks, we are going to sit down as counselors with each student individually to discuss their plan. If your student's absent, we're going to still meet with them on another day, so you don't need to worry about and that this is not going to happen for your kid. We're going to sit down with every student. So and also things can change. Remember, it's a plan. So we're going to just treat this as every day at a time. We're going to be cool and calm and collected about it. Any changes that you guys submit, we're going to review and talk to with your student. So let's say that your kid has been put in CP English 3 and you want them in AP language. We're going to sit down and talk about that. We're going to talk about their workload. We're going to talk about their goals and make sure it's the best decision all around. After that's done, they're going to meet with their technicians, and that's where we're going to go with like the technical part of their schedule. We're going to look at the period ranges. We're going to look if they need summer school, whether they want to take some online courses, and we're going to get those parts of their schedule cleaned up as well. After all that's done, this is how we start something called the master scheduling, and this is how students get in classes, is we look at all of the course requests that have been put in, and we start to look from a staffing and school needs basis. How many spaces do we need in that course? How many teachers do we need? And then we start to put those kids in course requests. You can always change your course request, but once we start to get those numbers, that's when seats become a little limited. So that's why we really want you to sit down tonight and really think about what it is your student wants so they have the best chance to get into that class. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Burkness.
Okay. I'm not seeing my slides. So there they are. Okay. Yay. So we really tried to be thoughtful about the tools available to you as you start this process of planning for your child's next 4 years. So one of the things we wanted to create for you were flow and sequence opportunities so you could see how your child grows in their academic coursework and rigor over the next several years. This is a great example of English, how kids can start in English honors, and sometimes kids level down to English 2 and then go back up to AP English Lang and then stay in English Lit. So we want you to see that there's lots of opportunities for your children over the next 4 years to um, take some risks and demonstrate some rigor as they move forward. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So that was English. This is a picture of what our math pathways look like. Most students start ninth grade in Algebra 1, but we also know that there are many kids that come in at different levels, and we want to do our best to support them as they make this transition to high school and then plan for post-secondary. So in this graphic, you can see how there's so many different options and pathways for your child in math. I think ultimately, as a parent myself, what I really wanted to know, just brass tacks, what are my kids' next step? So there, what you see on here really is a representation of that. So we see that it goes from Algebra 1 to geometry to Algebra 2. Some kids go pre-cal, some kids go statistics, and some kids are accelerated and have opportunities to really try out calculus. So it's a great opportunity for you to talk to your kids about what they really want to do as they move forward. Okay, so then we have the same kinds of graphics for our history courses, our science courses. I feel like the science courses show a lot of arrows, but with these arrows, what you really see, I think what they really denote is that your child has lots of wonderful opportunities to try different things, and that it isn't just simply a single pathway for all kids, because we know that we're not a one-size-fits-all shop, and that every child needs an opportunity to pursue their passion. Okay, and then we're going to start to see things like our CTE pathways. And our CTE pathways are a great opportunity for your child to dive into a specific interest and have an opportunity to grow in that career technical education pathway. We really want to encourage your kids to give this a shot. I feel like as an adult myself, there's just not very many times in my life where I've had the flexibility or the time to try something new. And so this is really a wonderful time for them to be able to do that. All right. And then we're seeing another graphic just of, I think this is our International Baccalaureate graphic, so that kids that are really thinking about a high level of rigor will be able to sample really challenging coursework to prepare them for post-secondary. Okay. And then we've got the MedSci program, and that is listed on here. I just want to take a moment here to just pause and let you guys know that um, my computer has just notified me that it needs to restart due to updates.
Oh my
So
God.
if it does go, we have another person that's a co-host, so we will not lose this feed, but I just in case there's a momentary glitch, just for you to be aware that that's a possibility. Okay, so these are our MedSci courses, and this is the flow and sequence of our MedSci courses. And then we're getting ready to understand our 3-tile view. So I'm going to hand off to Miss Orlowski. Now, I did just show you several different screens and flow and sequence so that you can kind of see how classes grow and pathways develop on our campus. These are all available on our website under the priority registration page. So I don't want you to worry that just because it's in this presentation, it may be gone forever. It's going to be available to you to be able to see in the coming days if you need to refer back to it. And so now I'm handing off to Miss
Am I
Orlowski.
going to use your computer?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and I'll swap with you. Awesome.
Okay. Okay. Can you see me?
No, they
Oh,
can't.
oh,
So you
sweet.
can only see that.
Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen. I'm going to continue sharing the screen. All right, sorry about that, you guys. We need to go back to logging in. Okay. So if you log in to your Aries parent portal, that's where you should be right now. It's a Saddleback Valley USD parent portal. All of you did your, not the dashboard, what was that called? I'm
Parent portal.
the parent, no, not the parent portal, data confirmation. So you've all done data confirmation. So we know that you have a parent portal account. So you need to log in, and once you have logged in, you will be at your child's dashboard. If you have multiple students within the district, make sure you are clicking on your Trabuco Hills High School students dashboard. Once you are there, you're going to click on classes and then academic plan. Now there is a video that we've already done that you can refer back to. So if we go through this too quickly, just know that there are multiple resources available to help guide you once this is over. And we are recording this, so just so you're all aware of that. Okay. Don't think we organized that slide very well. Okay, so once you are in the view, you'll have three different views. You have the high school graduation view, you have the UC college requirements view, and the CSU college requirements view. And then underneath that, you will see all of the subjects and how many credits our students need to earn completion, either graduation requirements or the A through G requirements for the UC colleges and the CSU colleges. So whatever view matches your student's plan, that is the one that we'd like you to focus on. If you are just looking to graduate from high school and earn a diploma, then you'll stay in the high school graduation view. If you want to move on and apply to a college straight out of high school, then you'll be looking at the UC and the CSU requirements view. Okay, so the classes that you see are divided by colors. So the green are courses for which your student has already completed and earned credit to meet the requirements. Orange are the courses in which they are currently enrolled. So it looks like semester 2. And blue are the future courses that your students will plan to take. As you can see that many of the courses have already been added to your student's schedule. These can be altered, they can be changed. So for example, in this view right now, if your child does not want to do English 3, they'd rather do AP English, they can add that, and we're going to show you how. Okay, here's the global view. So this is what a sophomore's academic plan looks like. This is a typical sophomore who is in college prep courses. This is what their plan looks like. So what's in blue is what this particular student has been slated to take for next year. And their senior year, that's what they've been slated to take their senior year. Now, they won't be able to unlock any of these courses. Those are there. They can't delete them. But when they meet with their or when they meet with their counselor one-on-one, then they'll be able to change those. So right now, what they're going to be doing is if they wanted to do AP English, for example, they're going to be able to add that, and it will appear underneath the regular English 3 class. So what we've done is if you click on if they click on subject, there will be a drop down, and then they can click on the course, English Language 3 AP. Then they will add that to their plan, and they will add that to their 11th grade as a year-long course. And then that course will appear underneath the English 3. So you can do that with multiple subjects, but they will not be able to delete the English 3. Once they submit this plan, once they've completed this plan, their counselor will be able to approve those or delete the previous course. All right, for the sake of me not having to read all of this to you, this is also in the video. I do want to highlight a few things because I think that they're important. 9th through 11th grade students must be enrolled in 6 courses each year in order to be a full-time student. 12th grade students need to be in 5 courses. In order to be a full-time student, in order for your children to receive insurance because they have to be a full-time student, they must take 5 classes. All students must take 4 in-seat courses at Trabuco Hills High School to be considered a full-time student. That means they're allowed to take an out-of-bell course, either through an ROP program, through Saddleback College, through the Virtual Academy, which is part of our SVUSD online school. So all of those are opportunities. So they can take 4 courses here and 1 elsewhere. And that is something that your child can talk to their counselor about in our one-to-one meetings over the month of March. For now, just select an appropriate in-seat course that they might want to take. For example, I was meeting with a student today and they want to take anthropology at SVA. But for now, they put yearbook in as their elective, as their preferred elective. So when I meet with that student again in our one-to-one meeting, we can have that discussion about their anthropology course they want to take at SVA and deleting the yearbook course that's on their current schedule, that's on their current academic plan. If your student has earned a D or F in a course and needs to remediate it in order to meet their goals, this is something that they do not need to add to their plan. This is a conversation that they will have with their counselor in those one-to-one meetings over the month of March, and we will give them the summer school information at that time. If your student plays a sport or they plan to try out for a sport, then that is another conversation that they can have with their counselor. For students that have an IEP, the services are determined by the IEP team. So we'd like you to pick the most appropriate courses available for the plan, and that is something that the case carrier, the school psychologist, and the counselor can all discuss together with your student. Okay, so once they've added all their courses to their academic plan, and their credits needed is 0, then they will submit the plan for counselor review. So that button up there at the top, they're going to submit that if everything is done the way they'd like. And then they're going to hit confirm. And did we skip? I think we skipped that slide. And then it'll be sent to the counselor. And then we counselors will receive a message saying that, do you approve of these changes? Do you approve of these courses that they want to take? We'll approve it. And then it will turn to green at the top where it says status approved. Okay, I think I am letting somebody else chat. So we have some frequently asked questions that we kind of thought about beforehand. Mrs. Burtness, would you like to discuss those?
I'm going to go ahead and transfer back.
Thank you.
So some of the questions are related to summer school and not being able to delete a locked course. We get that one a lot. Please know that as we have preloaded kind of a 4-year plan for your kid. It by no means means that is what your child has to follow. So if you want to add other courses to that plan or make changes to it, you are not going to be able to delete what we pre-added, but you can add that second course. And then when we meet with your child, we'll be able to go back on and delete the ones we pre-selected. We're not invested in making sure your child does the plan we created. You are the expert on your child. We really want your child's voice to be valued and heard during this process. That's why we meet one-on-one with the kids. But we do want to see what your alternate course is. So we want you to put it on there so that then when we sit down with your child, we can go ahead and delete the incorrect course that we may have added early on in this process. And secondly, when are we going to be meeting with kids? So we have created a plan for that. Oh, I went too far. Sorry. Still letting people in from the waiting room, so I apologize. When will my student meet with their counselor? So we are going to start with current juniors that are going to be seniors next week. The following week, then we just work our way down. So we will meet with current sophomores, and then finally we'll meet with freshmen. So we have a good plan to get them all through us. And then we have a whole week that's just dedicated to makeups. So we do know that kids are going to want to come back through that may have missed their day. I've noticed that there's a little, cold and flu season happening right now. So please know that if your child does happen to miss their day with their counselor, that we will circle back to them at the end of the month. Okay, so it is our plan to go ahead and create breakout rooms so that if you have questions. Oh, we've got questions. Okay, let's do. So we're going to try to do a table talk here about the questions that have been placed in the chat, and we're going to just work this through. So can students take health over the summer? So students are allowed to take health over the summer only if they have an impacted schedule. It is not something that kids are randomly allowed to do. They have to show verification of a impacted schedule to be able to utilize the health over the summer. Similarly, can kids take PE over the summer? That's another example that kids have to demonstrate an impacted schedule to be able to access PE over the summer. It is pretty typical for kids not to be able to take first run courses over the summertime. Typically, summer school is intended for school kids that need to remediate coursework that they have failed. Is this recording going to be available to our kids? Well, our kids, this video is going to be placed out on our website. So it's going to be available to anybody that would like to review it. I see that the psychology course is listed under 11th and 12th grade. Is it an option to take in 10th grade? It is my understanding that it is not.
It is.
It
but
is.
based on
Sorry, we've got.
space. Yeah.
Okay, so priority goes to seniors and juniors. And then if there's room after that, then 10th graders will have the flexibility to be added to the course roster. Someone else want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
So I already mentioned high school registration guide and the course description.
Okay.
And the website and how to find all that.
Okay, so we've had a couple questions about the high school registration guide and how to access course descriptions. So from the guidance counseling portion of the Trabuco Hills High School website, if you click on priority registration, academic plan, there's two different academic plans there. So go down to the second one underneath priority registration. You can click on that and there is all of this information readily available and slowed down to your liking. It goes through the entire process of logging in, starting with classes and then going to academic plan. You can open up another tab and have the course descriptions open. That's what we advise for anybody that needs to know more about the courses that we are offering, as well as the flow charts. Those will be uploaded, I believe, tomorrow. I don't think those have been uploaded yet, but this video, it has been uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
It has been uploaded. It is embedded in that priority registration like Google Sheet. It has all that information about these guidelines and directions for how to do the academic plan. Within that,
Open the website and screenshot it and show them.
okay, do you want to stop sharing?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so you can see our faces. Okay, and I don't know why that's like that, but so let's go ahead. We want me to exit full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that wrong. Sorry, guys. All right, help me. Okay.
What's your browser? Oh, here we go.
And even the A through the academic planning support tab has A through G requirements, course descriptions, graduation requirements, everything on it. Independent PE, like we're showing.
Choose to do a question while they're.
Yeah, do that. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be lovely.
I understand that IB students have already had their academic plans for the next school completed. Is this
Let people
true?
in.
Current juniors who are in IB have completed their academic plan, but current 10th grade students who are still in the interview process for IB and have not completed their academic plan.
And they still need it.
Is pre-calculus required for graduation or is it only required in the Med-Sci program?
That's
Oh,
why I
yeah.
graduate with them.
It is required to graduate from Med-Sci, but it is not a graduation requirement. Kids are required to do 3 years of math. So we want Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. But please remember, the world of post-secondary education, which is college, is a very competitive world. And so I always really encourage kids to seriously consider taking a 4th year of math. Even though it's not required for graduation, it is highly recommended.
What if they're going to Saddleback and just stay in the high school requirements? I think for this one, you're still going to want your student to be challenged in math. They're going to have to take higher level maths once they get to Saddleback, and exposure to higher level math, exposure to the next level of all the subjects is really going to benefit them at Saddleback. Remember, when you're going to Saddleback, it is the first 2 years at Harvard, the first 2 years at USC, the first 2 years at Cal State Long Beach. It's going to be the same at Saddleback. We're taking our general ed requirements. So the more exposure your student gets to the higher learning, the more successful they're going to be in college. Can a student take independent PE in addition to cheer and band?
I believe we're sharing now the guidance site called Priority Registration.
Yes, that is where we are.
So if what you're seeing is Ms. Orlowski is going ahead and scrolling down the tools that are available to you on our website under our guidance site that are labeled as priority registration. So you're seeing a lot of different screenshots on how to utilize this tool. And at the very bottom, you're also going to have a YouTube video.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay. And then all the way down. And that's our YouTube video on this whole process.
Scroll and show them the academic planning
Yeah.
resources.
All right, that I'm
No,
trying
no,
to.
scroll all the way to the side, the toolbar on the side of the website. Go to academic planning support. Academic planning support, third one down.
Course descriptions. So we have course descriptions out there for you under academic planning support. It takes a minute to load because this is a big document. So you can see, because I often get kids that come through the door and ask me, oh, Ms. Brickness, I want to take art, fundamentals of art. What is that? And it is hard to carry around in my head all the different course descriptions. It's one of the reasons why they're all written down here. And so kids can then take a moment and get more information about the options available to them. See, here we go. So we've got things like concert choir and chamber choir and beginning dance. And these are the course descriptions for those classes. So if your child is really having a difficult time picking an elective and just doesn't know what to do, thank you. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to review this document and see some of the different options available to them.
My son accidentally added a class and now can't delete it. He's using the trash can icon, but it doesn't do anything. How do we remove it?
So I really have to say, if it's not removable for you guys, it's really going to be okay. Add another class. It's going to be fine because we're going to then delete it. So as long as your child knows what you want deleted in the end, we can go ahead and take care of that when we meet. And please know, I apologize if it's been a little glitchy. It is new for us, and I know it's new for you. And so that part is very challenging. I think it's better for everyone if a child may have too many classes on their academic plan, that then we can just go through and delete the ones that are incorrect, then adding them back later and not being 100% sure that was your intent. So I would say, if there's going to be an error, it's better to err on the side of adding too much.
Is there a reason I'm not able to view these options for my incoming freshmen?
Yes, so our freshmen have not yet been, our incoming freshmen have not yet been loaded into Aries. We are going to address all of our current 8th graders that are planning on coming here more toward the end of March. We're planning on spending 5 days out at RSM Intermediate. And we are also going to go to our other intermediate schools. And yeah, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to spend 5 whole days out there.
If a student has a free period and wants to be a teacher's aide, how can they do that?
That if a student wants to be a teacher's aide, that is a discussion that they will have in those one-to-one meetings. For those of you that have joined us a little bit late, I just wanted to just let you guys know a couple things. There will be one-to-one meetings that your student will have with their counselor during the month of March. So the first week of March is when we're going to be meeting with our rising seniors. The second week of March, we're meeting with our rising juniors. And our third week of March, we're going to be meeting with our rising sophomores. So just rest assured that they will have the chance to get answers to all of their questions, all of your questions. And even though we have that deadline on Monday or Sunday, you have to have your academic plan completed by Sunday. That is not the end all be all. That is not, there will be chances to change your mind, change your students' classes, add more classes, get your questions answered. That is just, we want you all to go into the academic plan within Aries on your parent portal account and have a conversation with your student. That is what our deadline is. But then we have all that time to meet with your child and discuss their needs, including summer school, including what to take during how to take health, how to put things into their schedule, such as a Saddleback College course they might want to take. So there is that time to meet.
Please know that this is how we get your child's course requests into the system. We are using a 4-year planning model. So I know that some of you joined us late. This is a new process, but our master schedule is built around these 4-year plans, and because these 4-year plans will turn into course requests. Okay, go ahead. Do we have another question?
Can a student change from med-sci to regular classes during their junior year?
They can. We really recommend that if a student is going to be opting out of a program that they have already started, that they do have a conversation with their teacher, their program coordinator, just to let them know that they're planning to exit a program. No one's ever locked into a program that they no longer want to participate in. However, I do think it's a good courtesy to have that conversation with the teacher of the program.
If I can just add too, we have freshmen that have not had the chance yet to try out the med-sci program. When they're sophomores, they're eligible to be a part of that cohort. So if your child is interested in learning more about the med-sci program, I encourage you to reach out to Scott Mann or Karina Chin. They are the directors of that program. And it's a lovely cohort of students and teachers that get the opportunity to work together.
My child would like to do their world language over the summer, but is loaded on their schedule. How can we remove that?
Okay, so once again, we know that it's locked on your end, and we will go ahead and help your child remove that class when we meet. So it's really is a simple delete on our end. So as long as your child communicates that it's their plan to take the class over the summer at Saddleback Community College, we're happy to delete it for them.
I do not understand the credits needed column. If 0 out of 10 is shown, does that mean my student has already completed the 10 credits in that area? Or does that mean they need the 10 credits? Where do the past credits show up in this column?
So we want it to equal 0. So your freshman should have 5 credits completed in English 9 or English 1. So we want everything to equal 0 at the end. So once everything is filled out, it should equal 0.
So it should be 0 out of 10?
It should be 0 out of 10.
Okay. If you submitted confirm, but then thought of another change, can it be unlocked for a further edit?
Anything can be changed. So there's been several questions about how do I delete a course? So, we added a course. How do we delete it? We don't want it. We want you guys to know that once there's a course that is in there, we will be able to delete it. And your child can sit with us and we will delete it with them. So rest assured that this is not the end all be all. This is just a plan. Think of it as a map that's not written in gold.
For my sixth period placeholder, is that a school year sport or any sport? And is there credit for this placeholder?
There is no credit for a placeholder. It's simply to determine whether or not a student is going to be in a sport. We just like to make sure that as we are creating the master schedule, that we don't schedule them in an academic course if they're going to be in a sport.
My child is full-time at virtual, SVUSD virtual, and part-time at Trabuco. Do I need to do this?
One more time, I wasn't.
I think they're
They need to do it.
they're full-time at virtual and part-time here.
So a student that is full-time at Virtual Academy, I think that what you're asking is that that's going to be done through Mrs. Glasgow. You're going to be having that discussion with Mrs. Glasgow.
But we need the Trabuco courses.
No,
as
actually,
part-time.
the whole district is utilizing this program. So you do need to go on to your parent portal and go ahead and load the 4-year plan. Your default location may be SVA, but you still need to go ahead and load your 4-year plan.
My student is taking history online. When will she meet with a counselor?
So we anticipated that question. So we have lots of our students, our juniors, that are taking US history through Virtual Academy. So the last month of March, we have designated that time to meet with our students that were either absent on the day that we go to their class or have their social studies class, their US history class online. So rest assured, we will meet with all of our students by the end, hopefully by the end of March.
Should we just work in the HS graduation tab if our kid is going to Saddleback?
That's a great question. I think we had that a little bit earlier. Someone is asking if they should just stay in the HS tab. If the end goal is to go to a 4-year university, we really want our students to do as much as they can to meet those A through G requirements so that they're eligible to transfer from their community college to a 4-year college, because those requirements are going to be very similar at either the 4-year university or the community college. So the higher courses that they have, the higher level courses they have, the easier college is going to be for them. For example, if they do not take pre-calculus in high school, it's not a high school requirement, they can still go to a community college, but they might struggle a little bit in those math courses.
Can I be there when my student meets with their guidance counselor?
I'm so sorry, but in this plan right now, we have classes coming as a whole. It's not a designated appointment time where every 15 minutes a different child comes and meets one-on-one. We have full classes come in and rotate. So what we want to encourage families to do is that sit down tonight or, for the remainder of this week, work on your child's academic plan. Let's meet with, we're going to go ahead and meet one-on-one with the kids over the next 3 weeks. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out and let us know.
Is it possible to sign to the inter dance course or beginner dance course from the course plan? Because all we see is Pep Squad, and that's not what we thought we wanted.
Auditions are in May. Email Taylor Finnerty.
Auditions are in May. Please email Taylor Finnerty. She is the dance teacher. She's also the phenomenal musicals director. Yeah, we have a really fantastic department there. So Taylor Finnerty, she's a teacher at Trabuco Hills. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mrs. Moore.
Is the US Gov AP year-long?
US Gov AP is a semester course, and then AP Macroeconomics is a semester course. So that is a requirement for California high school seniors that they take government and economics. So AP Gov is the first semester, AP Macro is the second semester.
I can't seem to find English 4 on the course drop-down menu.
What's that?
Oh, so, go ahead and just type in
ERWC.
ERWC. I know that sounds kind of unusual, but it is part of the course name, English ERWC. Oh, I wish I could recall what it stands for, but it is.
Expository reading and writing.
Yes, thank you. Expository reading and writing course. It's the college prep English 4 class that helps kids get ready for the writing rigor that college will require of them. So yeah, I would really suggest pulling up the flow and sequence for English just to be able to see that. Okay. Well, any more?
Learning online. No.
if we have any questions on uploading or adding courses, who do we contact?
Well, I really want you to start with the video that's on our priority registration page. The video is very helpful. I sat and kind of put on my mom hat today and tried to really review the video again for myself. And I do have to say, I think Miss Orlowski did a beautiful job taking the time to really clearly explain the steps to doing this. And what I love about the video is you can stop it. And, I mean, I would always do that as a parent myself. There would be times I'd get videos because of COVID. We were kind of locked up for a while there. So we'd get these videos and I'd have to turn it on. Okay, log on, stop. And I'd log on and then I'd turn it on again and, like go to this page, stop. And I'd go to that page. So sometimes it does take a little bit of focus, but I really want to encourage you to give that a try.
There was something that just came up. I saw a question about online school. So our virtual academy is part of our district. The courses that they offer are A through G eligible. They are recognized by the UC system as either college prep or AP. In fact, we are so lucky that we have a few of our teachers here that also teach at SVA. So our AP Gov teacher teaches the AP Gov class through Virtual Academy. So I want you to make sure that you know that it's not a easier way out. The online courses are not the easier way out. Okay, so a really good question. So a student that receives a D in their, so we'll say geometry first semester, they get a D, and they want to take geometry in summer school, and they get an A, and they want to know how is this looked at with the colleges? So the A is added to the transcript. The D doesn't go away, but the A is added to the transcript, and the A is what will go into the our school's GPA. So it replaces the D. However, colleges are going to determine different ways of looking at that D. So the UCs, for example, they might average the D and the A together. The CSUs will take the higher grade, but depending on the colleges that your child is going to apply to are going to determine that differently. But for our purposes, when we are determining their GPA, it's the A that goes into it. It's not the D. I hope that answers that question.
So we have talked about going ahead and doing breakout rooms for specific groups. So we were going to do 9th and 10th together, and then 11th graders in another breakout room.
Oh, if you have two children, you can just pick one.
Yeah, if you have two kids, it's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hopefully you heard that. Okay, so if you have questions, thoughts, should we still do this? I think we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and set up the breakout rooms now and make them. So we're going to open the rooms and you guys will be able to sort yourselves into these rooms. So it would be your current child's grade. So current and 9th and 10th graders will go into one room and current 11th grade families will go into another one. We are not assigning.
Go down the more and join the breakout room if they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, this is looking for me to assign. Okay. Breakout
There
room.
we go. They're going. Okay, so then I have to go to one, huh?
If you go to one and I go to one, sorry, let me turn off that.